You said that there were definitely some parallels. When did you kind of start to kind of accept the way things are, or kind of accept your identity?
Yeah, so I first sort of, I mean, I think I always knew that I was different ever since I was
Mm-hmm.
like a very, very little kid. But then I first started to sort of accept like my sexuality when I was maybe, I started to kind of like think about it when I was 13.
Okay.
And then by the time I was 15, I was like pretty okay with myself. And then and I came out to my friends and family at age 15.
And what role did music play in this?
Music played a really big role actually. You know, I think it's so cheesy, but like in when I was dealing with all this was like 2009, you know, into 2010 kind of thing. And so like Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga and you know people like that who were at that time, you know, at the time Miley was still like Disney Miley, right? And I remember she had the song My Heart Beats for Love. And this was like a Disney star that I had grown up, you know, watching on my TV, who I saw as like, you know, this like perfect person. And here she was like singing the song that she said was about her gay best friend. And I remember hearing it and being like, oh my God, if no one in the whole world accepts me, at least like Miley Cyrus will, and I can go and hang out with Miley Cyrus. And, you know, music for me and that song specifically, and then like Gaga coming out with like Born This Way and all that stuff, those songs were, I think, a lot more kind of like comforting and impactful than people ever know, just in the fact that they let you know that you're not alone. You know what I mean? Even if your situation is shit where you are, there's a much, much, much bigger world out there, and there's people who are out there to show you love and support.
And I think one thing that you do, and this ties in with what you just mentioned, is that you don't beat around bush in a way. It's because a lot of music in the past didn't like to identify either if they were homosexual or not, and you are quite clear in it. So was that important for you to do that and then kind of?
Yeah, I think that's sort of just the way that I am as well as a
Okay.
person. I think, you know, I like being out because it means that, you know, people are not going to like, you know, say something dumb or whatever, you know, and not going to like put their foot in their mouth around
Sure.
me. Um, you know, I feel like this is something that I've accepted within myself, and it's something that I'm not at all ashamed of or anything like that. And so it's something that I really don't sort of mind talking about at all. But yeah, you know, and I think as well, I get a sense of pride every time anything cool happens to me. I don't want to like sound too like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to sound like a, you know, self-obsessed or anything like that. But anytime anything cool happens to me, I feel like it's sort of it sends a much wider message than just what's actually happening to me. You know, I see it as that's something that's happening to like an openly gay person, and that's still something that I think is relatively new as far as pop music goes. You know, like I think I'm really proud of not necessarily myself, but I'm proud of the people that come to my shows, and I'm proud of, you know, I get proud of like the Billboard Awards. I'm about to go sing on the Billboard Awards in Vegas, and I'm proud of like the award show for having me on there. You know what I mean? And like I get stoked for what it kind of means in the bigger picture of things, is more so than I get stoked for what's happening to me personally. You know what I mean?
Do you think then, or what is your take on where you are, of where we are now with those kind of things with the LGBT
Yeah.
community, and then do you think progress has been made, or?
Definitely, yeah. I think progress has definitely been made. I think we've still got a long way to go, but I think we're in, you know, the best position that we've been in so far. But yeah, definitely still have a long way to go. Yeah.
And well, you mentioned the Billboard Awards. When did you find out?
I found out about that a while ago now, probably like, well, the thing was that I had heard that it might be happening for a long time.
Okay.
And then I probably officially heard like maybe 2 months ago. Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, it's important to you because not only for yourself, but so to say, to have a platform and then to show that it's all right, that they can,
Yeah.
that they're more integrated now as well. And you mentioned kind of the way that Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga functioned for you as not feeling alone. And so now that you are in this position, do you hear a lot from people from the community? And
I do, yeah, almost like every day.
okay.
And I'd say that's like kind of the most rewarding part of what I do. You know, I love making music, and I would make music just in my bedroom for myself, or I would make music on this kind of big platform. But I think that regardless of the music, I feel like the most important like kind of work that I do is in the LGBTQ space, just because I feel like that's sort of the reason that I've been given this musical platform. And so that's, I guess, my constant goal is to try and like, push that fight forward.
And I think my time's running out. So, well, your record has been released now for almost 6 months, I think. Have you already started working on new material? No,
not really. I'm going into the studio tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, which is one of the first times that I'm doing that. I really want to take my time with it, and I don't know when anything's going to come out. All I know is that I'm so excited to start writing again and to kind of get into it. I'm really, really, really stoked. I just don't know when anything's going to happen.
Okay. And then you're very open in your lyrics as well. So do you take everything that you are experiencing now in the past year? Will that be kind of what?
I'm not sure. I think I want to try and avoid writing an album about like being on the road. I think that's kind of a little bit like cliche for a second album. Because what happens is if you make their first album and it's like super real about just like real normal life stuff, and then their life changes drastically and they end up writing about like tour buses and airplanes and stuff like that. And I'm going to try my best to avoid writing about that and just kind of keep things real. But I don't know, maybe I will write about it. I don't know.
Well, in that sense, well, like you say, working on your debut record, you don't have a frame of reference in a sense, so it's very free, a very free way of writing. So is there more pressure now that things are going well?
I think so, yeah, I'm sure that there is. At the same time though, for me music is not necessarily like a super competitive thing. I don't think I've ever felt, even necessarily like, I just get excited to like make better stuff than I've made before. It's not necessarily, I don't feel like stressed about it or anything like that yet. I'm sure I will at points, but right now I just feel like I'll just hear a sound or hear, a new song and be like, oh my God, that is the sickest thing. I can't wait to get back into the studio and try and do something like that, as good as that, So, I don't know. I don't really feel that like competitiveness yet.
It's like an earthquake.
Is that an earthquake? What is it?
I don't know. Final question. Well, the album was Blue Neighbourhood, and I believe this is kind of refers to Perth. And I wrote one thing down about Perth where you said Perth is the most isolated city, or one of the most isolated cities in the world. In what way?
It literally is. Literally,
Okay.
I think it actually takes the title for the most isolated city, capital city in the world. Yeah, everywhere is like, I think the closest place that you can go to, the closest next big city is like a 3-hour flight away. So everything is really, really far away. Yeah.
So do you enjoy going back there?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. It's still home to me, and all my friends are still there. My family's still there. Yeah.
But you take or at least you did take your family along with you on tour, right?
Yeah, my brother's here right now. My parents just left the tour. My other brother was just on the tour. They're all coming to Vegas for the billboards. So yeah, we try and stick together as much as we can.
Is that important to kind of keep yourself grounded in a way?
Definitely, yeah. I think as well, like, I don't feel homesick on the tour because I really do feel like everything that I need is sort of like, is traveling with me right now. You know what I mean? I've got friends, it feels like there's a real consistency in my life, which is, I think, something that is, really, really hard to achieve when you're in like a different city every 2 days. But I feel like my life is very, very kind of consistent at the moment, just in the people that are around me, and get to go and sleep in the same bunk on the bus, and it's like, it feels like routine almost.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, no worries, that was fun.